the biggest exporter in this country by these container vessels, it was American Chung Nam. They're a Chinese company. And they were selling all of their containers to 9 Dragon Paper. This is our largest exporting company in containers. They exported 211,000 containers of waste paper. That's what it was. The number 2 largest exporter was warehousing. 165,000 containers of waste paper. Of the top 100 exporters, 20 exported scrap paper, 20 exported bulk food, 15 exported bulk chemicals, 7 exported scrap metal. Then here are the companies, the only companies I could find in the top 100 list that actually may have exported a manufactured good was Procter & Gamble, GE was number 23, Caterpillar was 27, General Motors was 68, Deere was 77, and Whirlpool was 85. Importers. Okay, so that's what we're going to double exports of what? Scrap paper, bulk food, bulk chemicals, and scrap metal? I mean, you know, Saturn vehicles? Oh, sorry. You have one. Okay, so importers. Walmart imported 720,000 containers. Our biggest exporter was American Chung Nam with 211,000. Walmart imported 720,000 containers. Target on 450,000, Home Depot 365,000, Sears, Kmart 249,000. 35 retailers in the top 100 importers, and then you have companies like LG, Philips, Canon, Nike, Toyota, Samsung, Sony, Michelin, Sharp, HP, Toshiba. This is sophisticated stuff that we're importing. And I'm just going to give you one number because it's an important number, and that's for the machine tool industry. Because the machine tool industry is basically the barometer of industrial activity. If you have a machine tool industry, that's kind of a basic industry. If you have a machine tool industry, you're going to have an industrial complex that's innovative. Machine tool industry, U.S. production in 2008 was $4 billion. That's U.S. production of machine tools. That's 5% of global production. That's 5%. Consumption, though, I mean, it's important that we are consuming, we're buying machine tools. Our consumption is $6.7 billion. It's a kind of indication of what we're investing in terms of capital equipment. $6.7 billion. That's down 23% in a decade. Chinese consumption, same year, 2008, was $19 billion, up 714% in a decade. Now, this is true for industry after industry after industry after industry after industry. It's absolutely stunning. You know, the president says last night, we will be second to none. Well, we're not even like 20th to none. You know, it's like, wake up. Luggage, we don't make a single piece of luggage in the country. High performance outerwear. We don't make any high performance. You know, this super Teflon stuff, or you know, Kevlar stuff, or whatever that firemen wear, and mountain climbers wear. We don't make any of that. Air conditioners, that industry's gone. Bicycles, furniture, robotics, one industry after another. Semiconductors. Steel industry in the United States produced 91 million tons of steel. In 2008, China produced 500 million tons. And now, just the latest that just came out and I reported on was the mighty automotive industry. China last year produced China consumed 13.6 million vehicles last year. That they had an increase in vehicle consumption that was 50% in 1 year. The United States consumption went down to 10.4 million vehicles. It might just hover there this year. For a lot of Chinese people, and that's got to be a great market for automobiles, but nevertheless, they're consuming more. Their automobile industry is bigger than ours. Good almighty America. I don't know how many of you knew this. This is what I report on. This is what I try to make people know. I see this, and I go, you know, that's so. And I just don't know if Americans are getting this information. I'm not sure, but I think if they did, they'd go, oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. What are we doing? And they would get irate. And they would let people know that we want our country back. Because when you're in Washington, you realize this ain't our country. This country is owned by people with a lot of money. It ain't owned. It ain't owned by us anymore. I'll take questions. Thank you very much.
Brown from Ward. You hear about we need the government to create jobs. What do you think specifically local governments can do to create jobs?
I think they have to listen to who their employers are. I think they actually have to sit down with them and understand their needs, and understand the cost pressures that they're under. And if it's out of their control, and a lot of these are, because it's become such a global world, and everyone's competing with somebody they don't know, then the local governments and state governments have got to get our national government engaged. We have tremendous capability in our country. We have tremendous resolve. A lot of the old-timers have gone through really difficult periods in our history. It's never been easy in this country. It's never been easy. We've had, all through our history, imagine living during the Civil War. Imagine that. I live in Virginia. It's amazing. You go to those battlefields, and what an unbelievable situation we went through. We went through the Depression. We went through the World Wars. It's not been easy. That's the American way. We roll up our sleeves. We'll duke it out with anybody. We'll beat them. And we have great, great resources. And the greatest resource we have is the diversity of our population. And just because we are the world, the whole world is in our country. If you're in China, the only people in China are Chinese. The only people in Japan are Japanese. That's not going to help them. And whatever we think it is today, it's going to be different tomorrow. And once Americans, roll up their sleeves and say, we're going to take our country back, we're going to take our future back, oh my God. It just is a day. It's overnight. This can change overnight. It's amazing how quickly we can respond once we decide to. When the banks were failing, wow. Congress acted with alacrity. It was amazing. Just give them trillions. We couldn't have a collapse of our bank. It happened fast. So I think, when we get all these government agencies, especially in the Defense Department, going, oh my God, we got to make sure we have a defense industrial base, and we need to make sure we have a manufacturing base that can support a modern military. Once the DoD understands that, boy, you have resources. You have a lot of patriotic people working on that. And we're getting to the point. We're almost at the inflection point where people are going, whoa, we've lost too much. And when this country acts, boy, oh boy, you get out of the way.